A very warm good afternoon and a hearty welcome to all. On behalf of International Institute of Hotel Management, myself Kirti Kaushik, and I'll be the moderator for today's panel discussion. Let me introduce you all to our esteemed panel members. I extend my gratitude toward Mr. Sailal Pandey, Accommodation Operation and Management Faculty in Academy of Culinary Arts, Nepal, and our very own Chef Saikat, Faculty Food Production from International Institute of Hotel Management, Delhi. For taking out time to be with us, we have gathered here to celebrate World Tourism Week with a lot of enthusiasm and excitement. Today's discussion is on the topic Global Goal number 4, Quality Education, which has been set by United Nations under Sustainable Development Goals. So let's hear from our Chef Saike Das next.
Warm greetings from India. I'm Chef Saikat. So today we will be discussing about the Global Goal 4. Before starting this panel discussion, I would like to tell you everyone about why these Sustainable Development Goals are so important. Because they are aimed to transform our world to be a better place. They are a call to action to end poverty, inequality, protect the planet, and ensure that all people enjoy good health, justice, and prosperity. It is crucial that no one is left behind in achieving these goals. These SDG or the global goals are basically the collection of 17 interlinked objectives designed to serve as a shared blueprint of peace, prosperity for people and the planet for now and into the future. These 17 SDG goals are basically the global goals, which are no poverty, zero hunger, good health, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry innovation and infrastructure, reduce inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice, and strong institution. Last but not the least, the global goal is partnership to achieve these goals. So today we are going to discuss about the global goal number 4, which is quality education, which defines ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. These are the 17 outcome, the targets for these goals, which we are going to discuss is universal primary and secondary education, early childhood development and universal primary education, equal access to technical, vocational, and higher education, relevant skills for decent work, gender equality and inclusion, universal youth literacy, education for sustainable development, and global citizen. So these are basically the 7 targeted goals to achieve the quality education, which is a global goal 4. To achieve these 7 targeted outcomes, we have also 3 sub goals which has been defined by the United Nations. These 3 sub goals are the effective learning environment, scholarship, and teachers and educators. So talking about this effective learning environment, which defines, build, and upgrade the education facility that are child, disability, and gender sensitive, and provide safe, non-violent, inclusive, and effective learning environment for all. Talking about the scholarship, which has been defined by the United Nations by 2020, substantially expand globally the number of scholarship available to developing countries, in particular the least developed countries and the small island nations, and the African countries for enrollment in higher education, includes the vocational training and information and communication technology, technical engineering and scientific programs in the developing or underdeveloped countries. About the teachers and educators, which is last but not the least of the sub goals, It is defined by the United Nations that by 2030, the substantially increase the supply of qualified teachers, including through international cooperation or teachers training in the developing countries, especially the least developed countries and the small island nations. So this is what we are going to discuss in today's discussion. So let's hear next from our panelist, Mr. Sailal Pandey, on this quality education. Over to you, Sailal, sir.
Thank you so much, Chef Saikat. First of all, warm greetings from Nepal, especially Academy of Culinary Arts and Center for Leadership and Entrepreneurship. My name is Sailal Pandey, and I am accommodation operation faculty here. I do teach management subjects as well. I would like to first thank to United Nations to concentrate on these 17 sustainable goals for the whole world, and especially IIHM, who is taking the initiative to expand it as much as possible. And thank you for inviting me, IIHM team, for this wonderful discussion. As you already mentioned about, we are discussing the goal number 4, which is quality education. Now, this is a wonderful topic to discuss. However, if we have to achieve these, we have to achieve certain other small sub goals, which will help us to achieve in total the final one, which is quality education. So sometimes when we just think about this quality education, the word only comes about infrastructure or probably a very super hi-fi kind of teaching. But we have to do the basics right first, so that we can go far and better. So I just want to share some of the sub goals, which when they can be achieved, then we would be better achieving this goal. So first of all is the primary and secondary education. If this has to be achieved, then only we can look for the first. So now this universal primary and secondary education, in that we have to concentrate that irrespective of boy, girl, or any other gender, they have to be enrolled in this basic education. We might think of very high education, quality education, but if both the genders are not even getting the primary and secondary education, it will be tough. So that should be targeted as first. And then second, we should be also looking for the early childhood development, where we might, what I mean to say here is early childhood development, the environment when a boy is or when a girl is probably 3 to year old in the early childhood, the environment should be conducive enough so that they are ready to join the primary education at standard 1 or 2. What I mean to say, when they're in the play school or in the society where they're living, they should get a conducive environment which is helping them to get the better education, or which should give them that opportunity so that they can go to the primary education. So that is about the second sub goals, what possibly we can go to achieve the bigger one. And then once they achieve this, maybe we can look for, when you are already good with the primary education, you may look into some kind of technical and vocational education that will help you to get more skills. Because ultimately what? You are going to probably work somewhere, or probably you are going to be an entrepreneur, or probably be working for the society with some skills. And those skills, not just with the theory in the education we can get, we have to have some kind of practical skill, some vocational skill, and that also need to be required. So we need to have some technical skills or vocational skill with respect to anything, so that will help to either get the decent job, employment, or maybe you can open your own business by being an entrepreneur. So that is also one of the things. Again, now, when you are going for all these education, the most important part, which we always say, even in this quality education, when we're defining, we're taking this word inclusion. What does inclusion just mean to you? I'm just wondering, inclusion means what? Inclusion of all the genders, or it also include belonging? So just want to add, this inclusion should be there with the belonging. So inclusion will be by saying, maybe it is about the gender, maybe the person with special abilities, who we generally call person with disabilities, or person who are from probably the vulnerable sector of the society, marginal sector of the society, where I'm saying those people who are probably being discriminated. So all those have to be included in all this, because we can only go hand in hand to achieve this goal. Otherwise, probably only the partial achievement we will be celebrating around. So yes, so we should be taking everybody together. I think we can also include in our society. We feel that even we have been grown up like this. That if we have achieved up to a certain age of life, then probably we cannot study anymore. So not just we have to include young and youth here, with any age person, whether it is probably those who are in 30s, 40s, or probably who are in 50s. Everybody. So we should make a conducive environment where everybody is happy to learn. Everybody can be given some education irrespective of whatever age they belong to, other than the gender or other than those things we have already discussed so far. So that kind of environment should be created. Again, all these things, since the major part is sustainable development, we have spoken about inclusiveness, belongingness. We have to also see the sustainable part of that. And why are we doing also? So that all these things can go for long. So whatever steps we are doing now, we should have a bigger picture in our mind, which is where we are going, where we are heading. So we should do certain things with respect to whether it is cultural thing. Maybe we can invite more number of people from abroad. Maybe we can go there and then we can learn their education, their culture. Maybe we can do something for human rights, something which will give us some kind of sustainability and harmony in the future. Yeah, so these are certain sub goals which possibly we should be doing in a best possible manner, so that this effective quality education can be achieved. Now, to do so, we all what we're talking will just remain talks until unless we actually execute it, in somehow, or we execute some things which will help us to achieve these few sub goals, to achieve the bigger picture, the bigger goal. So what we can, as you rightly mentioned, Chef Saikat, that we need to have this effective learning environment. Now, when we talk about effective learning environment, taking all the genders, taking everybody, or each personality of the society, by taking them, we should have a conducive environment, which we are talking about how our infrastructure is being built, how our educational facilities are being given. So that is about effective learning environment. Yes, everything is ready, but if we don't have the right environment, so we need to first prepare that. We have to first execute this right environment amongst us, and then possibly we can go into that, and we can bring the right people to, or not right the people, this is not the right thing probably to say, to everyone to grow. The second thing what we can include is scholarship, which you have rightly mentioned also. Wherein by scholarship, when we are saying about scholarship, we are talking about those places which possibly are, or those countries which are probably not very much developed, or maybe developing, or maybe certain island nation, or certain countries, not taking the names, because even though in the best of the places, there are certain parts which need to be developed better. So all these places where possibly monetary wise, or probably any facility wise, things are not good. So maybe the other nation, the developed nation, should come forward, or probably if within the nation, maybe those people who are probably of high end earning, they can support as well. Better NGOs should come up to take the scholarship. So all those things should be provided, and this should be provided not only for one sector. We have to grow in all the sector, whether it is digital literacy, whether it is technology, whether it is about any kind of vocational training, even the smallest skill set. A lot of programs probably these days you would have heard about, that governments are taking initiative to let the youth get some skills. Our ladies in the society, our sisters, they get some kind of skills to get a better job. And the last but not least, teachers and educators has to be there. Everything is ready, but if the teachers and educators itself or themselves are not good enough, how can they give better education? So they have to be educated first, which means it could be done through the updation with the latest technology, what is happening, or probably any teacher training development program, or probably sending them to different colleges, different universities, different countries, so that they can be better equipped, their numbers could be improved, so they can give good trainings. Thank you, Chef.
Yes, absolutely rightly said, Mr. Sailal. As a teacher, yes, of course, we need to develop ourselves as we are also a human being and we are also needing some development programs. So that's what we are already in the process here in IIHM. We always go for the faculty development program. When we talk about this faculty development program, we are not only talking about this seminar, attending the seminar and conference, we are also going into the industry and checking out the new trends which is going there in the industry and the market. So it is very important to upskill your skills each and every time so that you can deliver this quality education to your students. This is very important. Yes, Pri.
Rightfully said, sir. But, sir, I have few questions for our guest, Mr. Sailal, sir. I would like to ask a little question. What are your thoughts on giving free education to the boys and girls of younger generations?
Thank you so much, Kriti, for this question. But I just want to, to request you to add not only boys and girls. Maybe you can add the other gender, or probably any person who is probably being lagging in the society. So definitely, we, as your question itself is saying that how thoughtful you are with with in terms of education. So definitely we should give free education. And by giving, so there are a lot of advantages. Probably when you give the equal access to the society, a very, very harmonic culture will be there, a very cohesive society will be there, and probably the economy will grow not with just twice, thrice, but when that when two things come together, that it just not get double. It increases the it works as a catalyst. So the moment you take everybody together with free education, a lot of people will enroll, and society will not, probably the boom word is still less. That kind of economic development will get. People will come out of the poverty, and maybe more of global competitiveness will increase. Gender equality definitely will give a better society. So all these things will come up the moment you start giving free education to anyone. However, I also want to mention one thing: nothing comes without challenges, because we're talking about free education, and that everything takes cost, money, right? Let's not ignore that. So when we took the cost, first of all, we have to also see that if we are giving with some money, some free education, are we giving the right quality? So there is definitely a chance of quality being a little, towards not on the better side. And yes, if we are having good cost spending to give the better quality, how sustainable? Now, getting the word sustainable here, because if you're spending good money for the longer period of time, how long you will last by doing so? So yes, there should be a good balance. The thought is good. We should work for that, at least to the extent possible. Doesn't mean that if sustainability is not long, we should not. Maybe the better people will come in the society, coming, and then the sustainability will increase. So yeah, that is what is my thought about free education.
Thank you, sir. So, Chef Saikat, for adding on from my previous question, I would like to ask you how you can provide education for sustainable development and global citizenship.
Okay, so there are many ways you can promote the education for sustainable development for the global citizen. So when we talk about the global citizen, actually we are talking about the young generation who are basically the future of this planet Earth. Now, one way is by incorporating this topic into the school curriculum and the teaching student about the environment conservation. Like what we do here in IIHM, we always go for the recycling things and going for the like the graffiti activities which we promote for the green environment. We do some other social justice and cultural diversity activities, right? So another way is by organizing workshops and seminars for awareness campaign in rise of awareness about these issues. Like what we are doing right now is celebrating World Tourism Week, in which we are focusing on the global goals, the SDG goals, right? So in this way, we can also raise the awareness of these issues in our younger generation. And we can also encourage students to participate in community services to protect that promote sustainability and the global understanding. Like what we do here in IHM, we go for this food soldiers, right? Like we are donating the food to the underprivileged peoples or the victims of natural calamities. So in this way, we can obviously promote the sustainability thing through the younger generation.
Thank you, sir. So, how can you increase the skills in youth and adults for employment, decent jobs, and entrepreneurship?
Priti, I hope this question is for me or for Chef Saikat.
So for you.
Oh, thank you so much. Just to confirm. So can you just repeat your question? I just missed your question. Wondering that it is for me or for Chef Saikat. Can you just repeat once?
I can repeat it. How you can increase the skills in youth and adults for employment, decent jobs, and entrepreneurship?
Well, again, a good question from your side, that how can we increase the skill, right, in youth for the employment or for entrepreneurship? So I feel that this should again start with the basic. Things should start from the theories. Definitely, we gradually will move to vocational trainings and technical trainings, but those skills whichever is required in the market now, in the industries now, to first of all get updated, and those things has to be included in the education. We cannot just have some curriculum in our education system, and that system is probably being used ages back. Now things have, the way things have advanced, the way the society is progressing, the industries are progressing, we need to make sure that those things has to be theoretically being there in our course. That has to be there. And side by side, once somebody is being theoretically well updated with what is happening, now let's go and do it. Let's have the technical training, vocational training. And after a certain time, what happens, I have also seen, and that goes with me also, and with probably a lot of people around, that after a certain stage, they feel that, oh, I am well skilled now, I know my job. No, we need to have lifelong learning. We need to feel that there is always something to learn new. So there should be continuous learning so that we can keep improving on whatever skills we have. Otherwise, it will be just stay till employment and probably the job. Now, I'm not taking anything that these are not better way, but to move to be an entrepreneur, you have to continuously be updated. Okay, now talking about being an entrepreneur part, let's say if somebody wants to become an entrepreneur. No, not by just a vocational training or just by knowledge you can become that. So if, let's say, I want to become an entrepreneur of a particular sector, I need to first of all get educated about that particular thing, specifically about that particular thing, after having my basic training done. So probably this can be done by the government, or maybe this can be done by the education institute itself. Like we also, like if you talk about our college, Center for Leadership and Entrepreneurship, we do some funding to our students if they want to become an entrepreneur. And also we try to give, now the second part is not just about educating them about that particular entrepreneurship and this, we do funding also, a certain amount of fund. And if not, if they are looking for some bigger skill, then definitely we should also give some access to the capital. Not, if not directly, then definitely we can get in them in touch with probably maybe if it could be any kind of entrepreneur institutes or maybe some banks, or maybe some kind of society, or maybe NGO, those who are providing those access to the capital. So we make sure that it's not just about giving knowledge or this, we should also make sure that these are the basic content, because capital is very important, that particular skill set is very important. Or if you talk about the job, no, we have trained people, everything is ready. But if it will always be better for a student or for any person to have certain placement services, partnershiping with certain companies or probably certain organizations which can definitely immediately help our students to be placed. Like we as an institute, we have already partnership with multiple companies. Of course, they have to see the skill set of the student, or and then only they can hire. So we need to also partnership for the jobs. These small things has to be included when we want to increase the employment and the entrepreneurship opportunity. And last but not the least, soft skill development. We know how communication is important these days. Not these days, from before as well. But overall, after having all this, soft skill development has to be there. Thank you.
So, Chef, from what Sir said, I would like to know how you can increase the supply and training of teachers in developing countries.
Okay. To increase the supply and the training of teachers in the developing countries, we can focus on several strategies, which can be like providing scholarship and incentives for the individual to pursue the higher education or some extra teaching career certification, establishing teacher training programs like FDPs from the institutes, which we generally do from Iihm for the faculties as a faculty development programs, right? And partnering with international organizations to support teachers training initiatives. So we are here in Iihm, we are already in a network of 50 plus countries. We share our knowledge, we have a network of international partnership. So this is very helpful, and this obviously give you to achieve this quality education. And additionally, we can implement mentorship program to support new teachers and improve the overall quality of education in these countries.
Sailal sir, as we all know, I would like to ask last question for sure. As an academician, what are your thoughts on improving the quality of education?
Well, I would be going again with the first thing which I spoke again about, including the latest updates about the market or about the industries, number one. Second, which rightly said by Chef Saikat, is again being here required. It's not just one way thing. We need to train the teacher. We need to make sure that development is there, with whether it is happening technologically, whether it is being done within the organization, whether it is being done with some kind of trainings, or whether it is being exchanged with certain organization within inter-country or intra-countries, whatever it is. So these things has to be done. Infrastructure and resources. Now, we have recently done the renovations, and we got with some new building with some new technology. Now, if you talk about our college, the pedagogy is also important. Now, I'll talk about why teaching pedagogy is very important. In our college, we have started, like you guys have started many great things, and probably I'm getting a lot of ideas also from you. So what I'm just trying to say, that in the pedagogies, we have to go, what we are doing, it's more about student centric. Now, we as a faculty, we are more or less like a facilitator or probably a mentor to the students. Most of the learning they do by themselves. We just facilitate them wherever the request or wherever there is a need of them, after listening to them what they have understood about a particular topic. Now, when you give this opportunity to the student, when you are having this student-centric approach, you literally give the student, so that you literally give that time or that confidence to the student that this person will give their best. Otherwise, the student will be completely dependent on the faculty. The moment you give this right to the student, that it is completely on you to study, and also as a backup, you're standing behind that, yes, I will hold you and I will help you even to stand better, then you are giving, then the student will come up with his or her full potential. So the pedagogy is very, very important. So this is what we are following here. We are working in a constellation. Constellation, I mean, so the group of students, It's not just one or two students. So they sit within a group. They discuss amongst in a group, because sometimes some students are being shy to approach to the faculty. So they discuss, and after that, they learn by themselves. And if they need some help, they definitely approach to us, and we listen to them also, that what is their understanding. And after that, we correct them. We also do mentor them for their future, that whatever they want to do with respect to professional, personal life, anything. So all these things can be included here from the very beginning. And when you talk about pedagogy, it's completely about, in each group we have computer systems. Everybody is learning through that. We have even facilitate them with certain other equipments in the infrastructure, which could be writing pad or any other things in their table itself, every time ready, not just in the computer class. So this technology has to be integrated with that. The assessment criteria are not very much now on the written basis and then Q&A kind. We will give them certain projects, and we should give actually the projects. Not only everybody should give those projects so that they can relate to the real world scenarios. We have also collaborated with many organizations outside also, where they can go, they are learning maybe a couple of years here, and then after that, or maybe 1 year here or 2 year here, and then moving to certain other country, maybe developed country, to get their knowledge as well, or probably after that they may settle over there. So we have collaborated with certain organizations, with certain great educational institutes, so that they can get some extra learning. So these are certain things which we can do to improve the quality of education. Thank you.
Yes, very rightly said, Sailal sir. Like when we talking about the improving the quality of education, we should not be following this the old age curriculum and having this old age assessment systems and all. Basically, if you see the NEP, which has been introduced by the Indian government, they have brought very modernistic approach for educating the new generation. They have introduced like vocational training from very beginning, like from the 6th grade, they have introduced the vocational training. From at the young age, the students can choose what they want to pursue. Right now, obviously, as a young minds, they might change up their ambition or their goal in future. So they have also this the provision of changing the course. Like when you take an admission in graduation, now after first year, if you think that no, this course is not right for me. In the previous education system, it says that you have to continue, and then only you are going to get the degree. But according to this new education policy, which has been introduced by the government of India, this says that, okay, if you're not into this particular stream, then you can obviously change, but obviously you will not lose the year which you have spent in that course. So this is what is the changing time, and this is what we need to improve in our education system to provide the quality education to our young generation. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Sailal sir, for this amazing session. And thank you, Chef Saikat, for coming here and giving us this innovative and informative experience of a panel discussion.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much, Kriti and Chef Saikat. Thank you for having me here once again.